Hello! So it's been 10 years since Dance Gavin Dance released Happiness, which contains the best song that band have ever written, and it's been about 3 years since I first learned how to play it. So I figured it's about time I showed you. Tutorial time! Dance Gavin Dance, Carl Barker. Finally. So the link to my tab for this song with all the parts that I'm going to show you in this tutorial is down below, so go download that, open it up, and follow along with me. So here we go. Intro. Okay, so this, the funkiest of funky intros. We begin. That's your first phrase. So, we start with a G on your low E string, 3rd fret. And then we jump up to a D on your 3rd string, which is the 7th fret. And we sort of bend that up. So I pull that down, because I find it easier than pushing up, even though it's exactly the same thing. So whatever you fancy doing. And then we do a hammer on from 5 to 7, so C to D. And then we jump down to the 2nd fret and do an A to a B flat. And then pull off again, so 2, 3, 2. And then we jump across to your 4th string and do 3, slide to 5. Or hammer on, if you prefer. Okay, so. And then we need to add in all the percussive sort of stuff, because he does, it's not just, it's just funks it up a bit, makes it so much cooler. Now this is kind of at your discretion, whatever you fancy doing with this, just to get the groove going. You kind of want to get a, that sort of rhythm going with it, so it's sort of, okay, you just kind of have to feel the groove of it. To get the clicky sounds just between all of the notes, you just need to deaden all the strings. Okay, and maybe palm mute them as well to get a completely dead sound. So. And then just build up your speed. Getting that sort of rhythm going. So this intro is mostly based around that riff, with kind of different endings, I suppose. So you play that once, and your first ending is 2, 3, and 5. So A, B flat, and C on your 3rd string. And then we have an octave chord that just slides up, so we're starting on an F on your 4th string, so 3rd fret, and the octave of that is going to be 1, 2, 3 frets up and skip a string across, so it's a 3 on your 4th string and a 6 on your 2nd string, and we take those 2 notes and slide them up 2 frets, and then from there we just jump across onto your 3rd and 1st string. And just carry on, starting on that 5, to starting on the C, sliding up to a D, 2 frets again. So that's your first ending. So all together, nice and slow. Second ending, repeat the first part. Only this time, we jump to the 6th fret on your B string, on your 2nd string, and we pull off and then hammer back on and then slide up, so it's 6, pull off to 3, hammer on to 6, slide up to 8, and then we do a C on your 3rd string, which is your 5th fret. So and then from there, this next part, there are a few different ways of doing it. In the tab, I've written it this way. With the right note, that would be good. There you go. So I've written it 15, 12, 10, 12. That just kind of, I don't know, suits my fingers nicely, so I quite like that jump. So 15, 12, 10, 12 on your third string, and then we just go up to 11 and 13 on your second string. And then from there, we jump across onto your high E string and do 13 to 15. You could do it in a number of different ways. Since tabbing it out, I've kind of started favouring that way. It just seems to flow nicely under my fingers again. That works. That way. No, that way doesn't work so much. So I'll show you the other way that I've started doing it. So that is 11, pull off to 8, and then 10. So 11, 8, 10, 8, and then you slide up from 11 to 13, and then pinky finger again, 13, 15. So again, anywhere you want to play this, if you can work out those notes in a different place, do it there. So all together. First ending, second ending, or with the tab. Both exactly the same, different fingering, whatever works for your fingers. Now your third time is the same as the first one. And your fourth time is the same as the second one, but without that bit on the end. You just kind of finish up, and then we're there. So that's the whole of the intro, and that is probably by far the best part of the song. It's the best guitar part of the song anyway. Yeah, and it just does things to me. Tingly things, it's nice. Anyway, let's move on to the verse. So as with all Dance Gavin Dance songs, there are two guitar parts, and two quite separate, distinct guitar parts. So I've picked just the most prominent, the most forward part to teach you for this and to tab out. So the part that stands out most in the verse is the octave guitar part, which goes like this. Okay, so this is all just one octave chord pattern. That just shifts around. You can do it all on the same string. It makes it nice and easy. You just need to be able to slide the right notes confidently enough to be able to hit them. Anyway, shut up, Michael. Get on with it. We start with a G, which is the 5th fret on your D string, and its octave, which is the 8th fret on your 2nd string. So that's your first one. And the pattern goes, I'm going to go off where your first finger is, where the root note is. So it goes 5, up to 8, and then 10 and 12. And then it's kind of the same thing again, you just mix it around a bit. Okay, so your second one, 5, 8, 10, 8, 10, 12. So, and then from there we jump up to 15. So it goes 15, 13, 12, 15, 17, and then back to 13, 12, 10, so. So let's put all of that together. And then we need to funk that rhythm up a little bit with, again, you want to kind of keep that as your rough guide for the rhythm. It's almost like da 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 between each of the notes. So that's not right. It's really hard to do slow. Why can't I do this slow? Okay. Okay, you kind of have to fit it around the rhythm. That sort of rhythm. But that's it. It's just that octave pattern. It's the rhythm that's the hardest part of that. But once you got it, you're good. So following that, is just another octave pattern. So this one is all octaves on your A string. So we start with a G, again, which is your 10th fret on your 5th string, and the octave of that, which is the 12th fret on your 3rd string. And your pattern goes 10, 8, 10, 12, 8, 5. Then we go 3, 5, 8, 5, do, 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 do. And then round that again. No. Second time around we go 2 little sliding octaves there, 10, 12, 8, 10. So. One of the easier parts of the song, because it's just an octave pattern that moves around. So you can base everything on where that first finger is, and your pinky finger just follows nicely. Okay, and then we move into these 2 chords are actually quite easy. They're just major 7 chord. So we have an E flat major 7, which is a 6 on your A string, a 7 on your G string, and an 8 on your B string. And you want to just mute that D string in between your 6 and your 7. And then rhythm wise, again, listen to it for the timing, because if you look at the actual rhythm, the timing on it, it's really odd. So just go on phrasing and it helps you play it. So, and then we just move up 2 frets for the higher one. So. So that's those 2 chords there. Again, quite simple chords, rhythm-wise, very difficult to get sort of in time. If you're playing along to a click, it's a very, very hard rhythm to get in time to a click. So go on phrasing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, count like that, and it seems to help play it. It does that again, but underneath that, or over the top of that, just comes a big fat G power chord, which is just 3rd fret, 3, 5, 5, which holds underneath that for the 2nd time. Okay, and then from there we are onto your quick little double picked section. Okay, so one thing I've always found very difficult about particularly this style of music, there's a lot of that sort of thing, just picking 2 on every note. I find I have to concentrate a lot when I do that. Don't know why, just something my picking hand doesn't do very well. So this bit's quite awkward. So I'm going to show you this without double picking it all, just so you can get the notes. So this is entirely based, except for that one note up here, which I'll explain in a second, around the 3rd and the 5th fret. Okay, so we start here on your 3 on your D string. Let's break it into small sections. I've never broke this down before, so let's give it a go. So 3, 5, 3, 5, that'll be your first 4. And then we go 3, 5, 3, 5, down, 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 down. So 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, down, down, down. And then we stay on that 5, and we go 5, 3, 5, and then we slide up to 7. I think on the tab I put an 8. I think it's actually a 7. It could be an 8. Can't remember. I haven't actually listened to the song for a while. I just played it from memory mostly. So the reason I do it all on one string is because it makes the picking much easier for me. Just to keep it steady, because crossing strings doing the digga 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 down is more difficult, whereas that's far easier. Okay, so. And then. 3, 5, 3, 5, oh, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. Yeah, that's the one. This is one of those very confusing things because it's all on the same few notes. It's one that might take a while to stick in your head. But again, let me play it all the way through and see if you can just keep that phrasing, keep that melody in your head. And that just repeats a few times through that. The very last time, we just add on an octave chord. So I think that's on. I think that's right just there. Again, read the tab. I've not got the tab in front of me. I'm doing this from memory. Give me a break. Yeah, so it ends on. So there you go, that's that part. Again, it's an awkward thing to pick quickly and to pick accurately. And phrasing wise, it's all based around the same kind of 3 or 4 notes, so it's quite difficult to do. But all in all, it's one of those simple things that actually turns out to be quite hard. But that's just for me. You might just go, nah, I can do it. So there you go, you're better than me on that. There you go. Okay, so that's that bit. Now the next part is definitely the easiest part of the song. Just a little 3-note groove. Okay, and these notes are 10 on your 3rd string and then 12 and 10 on your 4th string. So you have it just keeps that going. I think it's 8 bars of that or 4 bars of that. And then we jump to same thing. We just add an A on your A string, 12th fret onto the end. Okay, so we're just adding that one extra note, and that's all that part is. That bit's nice and simple, but it's a gorgeous part of the tune. Sometimes the simplest things are the most effective. Okay, then we're moving on to the prettiest part of the tune, into this section. So nice, so simple, but so nice. So these chords are kind of based on an E flat major, like a G shape. So we're kind of there. I suppose we could call it like an E flat triad over G. Or if you're playing a C in the bass, it's kind of a C minor 7, but I don't think the C's in the bass. I think it's an E flat. Anyway, theory stuff. Regardless of that, it is 8, 8, 8, 10. So starting from your 2nd string. So I would do a bar with 1st finger 8, 8, 8, and then 3rd finger on 10, because your pinky finger needs to then jump to a B flat and 11 on your 2nd string. So we go. Then add that pinky finger on, and then we just take that shape and we move it up, and we just strum it twice, once all the way, and 2nd time just 3 strings. And then there's just 2 notes for this next part. So we have a 10 on your 3rd string, so we have an F. Then we jump to a C, which is 13 on your 2nd string. And then we do a 10. And just keep picking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Keep picking in those quavers, those 8th notes, and just slowly bend the string up until it kind of gets, it's more a half bend for that bit. So we have this good. Pinky finger on, move it up. Pick note, and pick, 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 bend, 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 pick, pick, pick. That last little bit there. And then we're onto some more beautiful chords. That little section, love these chords. So we have, it's an E flat major triad again, but this inversion this time, so we are on 11, 12 and 13 on second, third and fourth string. So 11, 12, 13. And on top of that we add on pinky finger onto an F, which is 13 on your high E string. So that gives us an E flat major with an added 9. So an E flat, add 9. And we just pick up that chord. And then this time we move up to what would be a G minor, which is a little bar across 15. So 15, 15, 15, and then 17 on your fourth string. So 1, 2, 3 is 15, and 4 is 17. And we pick up that chord as well. So they're your first two. And then the next one. Now this is in a very squished up sort of place, so if you can get all 4 fingers on, you could do that. I tend to do just 1 finger or 2 fingers. So we do, it's a 15 and a 14, so it's part of an F chord. So we have a 14 on your third string and a 15 on your fourth string. And we pick 15, 14, and then from that 14 you want to hammer on to a 15. So I do that with that middle finger that's playing the 15 and just kind of flatten it like that. If you can see that, you should be able to see that. And then keep barring it across onto your second string. So now you could do that with your third finger like this, depending how you can squish your fingers in, if you can do it. And then from there we just go to a straight F, which is 13, 14, 15. Okay, so we start here, E flat with the added ninth, up to your G minor, then back to your F with your kind of sus4 added in, and then to your F. And that's that section. The second time around that, when you get to that last chord, you just kind of build it up, because that kicks you into the chorus. So 4 very basic chords for your chorus. We have an E flat major 7, which is 6th fret on your A string, followed by like an A major 7 shape in your bar chord fashion. So 6, 8, 7, 8. And then we move up, we have a G minor 7. Okay, which again, following that A minor 7 bar chord shape, shifted up to the 10th fret, bar, so it's 10, 12, 10, 11. The next one is an F major, again using that A major shape, shift up to an F, which is the 8th fret, so it's 8, 10, 10, 10. And then finally a D minor 7, which is the same as the G minor you played up here, but down on the 5th fret, so 5, 7, 5, 6. So that chorus. Nice and simple, straightforward. Again, straightforward, but beautiful and effective chords. I like them very much. Okay, next up we're on to by far the most difficult and sporadic and jumpy twiddliness part of the song, which is this part, if I can play it. That'll do. So this is 2 octave chords, again on your A string, so it's 10 and 12. We slide down and back. Don't slide, you move down and back up. So 10, 8, 10. Followed by your first little lick, which is 13, 15, 13, 15. So 13 on top string and then on your second string. Second one, same chords again, but we jump up, which is 15 to 18 on your second string, and then 17 to 18 on your high E string. Again, awkward little move, and then you jump down an octave to 15 on your third string. So then the octave chords change to 12, 13, and 8. And that's the same as that very first lick, but it's kind of inverted. So instead of, we go. Okay. And then just 12, 10, 12 on D and G. So all together. 2 octave chords firstly, same octave chord. Secondly, different octave chords. Inverted firstly. And fourthly. So that repeats for a little bit, and then we are into the solo. Okay, so this is all in all quite a simple solo. So we're starting just with a high G on your E string, so 15th fret, and we just pick 16th notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 bars worth of those. And then we go 18, 17, 18, 15. Kind of the inverse of that part that we did in the twiddly bit before. And then we do a couple of little out of key notes, odd notes, which goes 17 on your second string, 16 on your third string, and then 15 on your second string. Then from that note, it kind of bends and the tremolo picks it. And then we just do the big scrapey thing, which again, if you get your pick, and if you've got more gain on than I have, if you crank your gain up a little bit, then you'll get a good sort of sound that goes on there. And then from there, it kind of does a slide all the way up, and then picks up that 22nd fret, so 22, right up at the top. Then we go 18, yeah, we go 20, 18, 20, 22, so. And then those 3 notes again, 20, 18, 20, and then 18, 17, and 18. So, and if you keep that finger, whichever one you land on there, I tend to use my middle finger, and then do a 15 on your high E string. Okay, we have that sort of thing going on, so it's just between those 2 notes, 15 and 18, and the rhythm, again, another slightly odd rhythm. I think I play this slightly different every time I do it, but it's kind of it's like a staggered syncopated rhythm. So we've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And again, we finish on a da, da, down. So as long as you finish that da, da, down on those last 3 beats, you're all good. Just kind of nah, 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 whatever. You'll be good. And there you go, that's the solo part. And then we're just repeating other bits of the song. So we're back to that section, and that section, and then your chorus. Same chords again, and then there's one little break towards the end of the chorus. There's a couple of times around, and then there's a break, which does, instead of an E flat major 7, we do a regular E flat major. So let's take that A shape, and let's go 6, 8, 8, 8. And then we go to a D minor 7, again, which is part of your chorus. And then we add on little finger, pinky finger, to an F, just there, which is your 8th fret, turning that D minor 7 into an F major chord. Okay, so there's a little break, it all slows down, it all goes nice and slow and pretty. And then it's back into your chorus again. and you finish on your E flat major 7 chord. And there we go. That is your tutorial for Carl Barker. Sorry it's taken me like 3 years to do it, but hey how. I'm going to try and catch up with some tutorials. I know there's a lot that I've not done that a lot of people ask for, so the next few videos might just be tutorials for you, which I suppose is a good thing. So there you go, thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe and go like me on Facebook and the Twitters and the Instagrammans and everything else. And I'll see you soon for some more tutorial time.